y'all doing today?
Good.
Everybody's good? Y'all good? All right, so, this is Real Questions and Answers, where we ask real questions and we expect real answers. Today, I'm not going to be hosting, you know what I'm saying? I got my co-host, this person right here. Y'all know what it is.
Hey, Janine Monique.
Yeah, that's Janine. She's going to be talking to the lovely men that we have today, talking about fatherhood and stuff. We're going to let them introduce themselves first and basically give their, if they have social media, but they're going to tell you their name, and we're going to have a live discussion about fatherhood today. So we're going to start to my left. Okay, go. You can just give me your first name, sir, and...
First name is Alton.
All right. What about you, sir?
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Messiah. I'm on deck.
Okay.
What's going on? It's Chad.
Uh-huh.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Dave.
Dave. Okay, so listen. This is real Q&A, where we expect real answers with these real questions. Yo, John, sit down. Like right there. Like real questions and but we expect real answers. A lot of wild stuff going on right now, throwing me off. Instagram is wilding. It's always wilding. If it ain't the sound, it's the video. Like it's always Instagram, step your game up. Anyway, so like I said, I'm not gonna be doing too much talking today. It's gonna be Janine. But before we even get into the talking, you see these shirts right here? Yeah, there's gonna be a link on the bottom for the PayPals and definitely the Cash App. Y'all want these shirts in any size? Hit me up. Tell me your size. $20 for the females, $35 for the men. Yeah, for these right here. For these ones right here, $35. Janine's shirt, $20. See it? Yeah. Okay. So it's her turn. She about to go in, and she's about to ask y'all some real questions. She's expecting real answers from y'all, all right? And that's basically it. So it's her floor.
Are there any other kind of answers?
Huh? I don't know. Sometimes people give, I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? So she's going to ask y'all the questions. You're not going to really see her on camera, so let her get a little shine real quick.
Hello.
Follow her, JanineMonique.com. That's it.
Janine.Monique on Instagram.
Yeah, that's her Instagram. It's Janine.Monique. Follow her. Okay. Let's go. Ask these real questions.
All right, so we're going to start off light and then work our way up. So we're going to start off with how many children do you have? Let us know whether they're boys or girls and their ages. Let's go.
5 kids.
All right.
It's 3 girls, 2 boys. Oldest boy is 44. Youngest boy will be 29 this year.
Who the?
Oldest girl is 39. Should be 40 her next birthday. Next child, 35. Next child after that, what the hell is she?
But wait, who's 35-year-old child? Oh, this one, right?
You trying to be funny?
Oh, my fault. I was just asking.
But that's about it.
Okay.
Saya.
All right. Yeah, so once again, my name is Messiah. I have 3 kids. The oldest is a boy. Yasir, he's 16. And I have 2 daughters. Tanya, she's 14. She's about to be 15 at the end of the summer. And Amaya, she's 5.
Okay. Maya's the new one. My uncle came late, last one here, so this is my Uncle John. So he's gonna yeah. How many kids you got, bro?
I got 3 boys.
Which ones?
Ages, Corin's 24, Tishon 26, and Ryan's 18.
Okay. Chad.
I got just my daughter, she's 8, and then my nephew who he's pretty much my son too.
Okay.
He's 13.
Facts. White boy Dave.
I got one that I take care of.
You got one.
This dude right here, I don't know. We gotta check his resume. I don't know how many this guy.
I got one of the pies.
Yeah.
That's got one.
Yeah. Ange, man.
Boy, girl.
She's a girl. Her name is Angelina.
Yeah.
How old?
She's 12.
12.
That's his heart right there. That's my dude right there. Stay posted.
All
All right.
So do you guys want more?
Hell no.
That's the answer for everyone? Everyone is a
I
hell
wouldn't
no?
mind doing it again, but the older I get, the more I'm like, my daughter's about to be in 3rd grade. Do I want to have to go through those phases again? But under the right circumstances, sure.
Well, how old are you now?
33.
Oh, you can have another.
He put it on you, bro. You can have another one. Son. You can have another one.
Here you go. We take care of him. You can have another one.
All right. So, best Father's Day gift. Best and worst.
And be honest. Don't lie.
Best
Best
and
Father's
worst.
Day
And say which kid
gift.
gave you the worst one.
I think the best Father's Day gift is when I got the picture of my mom redone.
Okay. So
Worst Father's Day gift would be all that stuff my kids gave me when they was in school. see, because they don't treat fathers the way they treat mothers.
Oh.
Right.
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
Right.
Sorry.
To be honest, I think my best gift is possibly like my worst gift. You know, I have a comedic family because I have a really big sense of humor. So one year I got an electric toothbrush, you know, as a gift. It was more or less a gag gift, but it's the one gift that I've gotten, whether it was Christmas, Father's Day, my birthday, anything that I use the most. You know, so I guess that's pretty much my best and worst gift.
Okay.
John?
I don't think I can say anything really bad. My kids actually looked out for me. You know, I can't even say it all. I mean, anything I wanted, perhaps they know I like it. That would be represented to me. So I can't even say I had that one bad gift. Not at all. Only thing I can say, sometimes they late with it though. I gotta wait till when the day's almost over. Now I'm just getting it.
Get that shit in fucking June. When is it?
Morning time come around.
Sunday.
I gotta wait till 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get it. What's
I don't
going on?
remember when that shit is.
It's actually Sunday. It's Sunday, bro. You're supposed to get it in June.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You got it on Father's Day.
yeah, but
Well, then it wasn't late.
He mean like they be late like monthly.
Like, come on. Everybody's getting their gift for the morning. I'm getting mine almost the day's over with.
Okay. What about you, Chad?
Well, I'm still in the getting stuff.
You gotta
from
be careful. You got
elementary
one
school
child.
stage, you know?
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
So, you know, like that's pretty much it. I mean,
But those are your best gifts.
oh yeah. Well, no, the best gift on Father's Day is the day off. Just the day to chill, not have to ask no questions, run people to whatever they gotta go to, just day off.
Okay.
There you go.
Yo, what up, KC? Go ahead, bro. What about you?
Well, my daughter's 12, so I'm still getting cards and shit she makes in art crafts, class, whatever. So they all good gifts. I love them. But her bad. She really don't get no bad gifts because she's 12. So you really say, nah, she ain't give me this because she white, so they extra sensitive. They start crying and shit. So she ain't never give me no bad gifts. You know what I mean? So they all good. That's about it.
We're gonna start the question over here. What's the next question, man?
All right, so next one. A lot of people define father and dad or daddy differently.
Okay.
They'll say there's a difference between the two. If you feel that way, why do you feel that way?
Dave, that.
That was a lot. That what?
Is there a difference between father and dad or daddy in your opinion?
Oh.
Or is it the same thing?
It's the same thing to me. My daughter really say father. Sometimes she call me pops. She get creative.
Okay.
But no, I don't think it's a difference between father and dad.
All right. Chad?
I think the difference between father and dad is one is a verb. So like I think of
Facts.
father like you father someone, or like the same way love is a verb. Like it's something you do. I fathered a child, which encompasses a whole bunch of stuff, and a dad is just what they call you or you're known as. You know, like it's an addition to who you are. That's how I see it.
Okay.
John?
That's a good question though. Because most of the time my kids call me dad. I don't usually hear the word father. That sound like old.
Yeah.
Like so I'm like, yo, who calls you father? Like,
That means they want something.
you know what I'm saying? They're not even that. They call me dad off the top. They want to still me dad.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? But father to me is like how ironic you even hear somebody call you father actually. You know what I'm
Mike,
saying?
what up, Mike?
So at the end of the day, dad is like number one though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
Yeah, I really never gave that question too much thought. Like, you know, it's the first time I heard it. So, by you asking it, I'm trying to figure out, are you asking based on the actual role of a father or how it's perceived? Because, you know, you have,
So I
you have
think
some
it's
people
how
that
it's
have
perceived.
children, but they don't raise their children.
Right, and I think that's where that question
okay.
comes from.
Yeah.
That's what the debate of it all is.
Right.
It's like, you know, oh, that you could be a father, but you
Anybody could be a
between
father,
being a
yeah,
father,
yeah, yeah.
being a dad, or
Yeah.
being a daddy, or
Because you got a lot
that.
of Father's Day fathers. Like, they only have their children on Father's
For
Day.
sure.
Right.
Facts.
I understand.
For sure.
I mean, I really don't try to knock anybody because I feel like, you know, I've been fortunate. I've been in all of my children's lives since they were infants, from the day that they were born. You know what I mean? So I just believe the main thing is just measuring up. And fulfilling the role because kids need the father or their dad, whichever way you want to identify them. You know what I mean? I don't really want to knock anybody. You understand what I'm calling from?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Pops.
Well, anybody can be a father, see, because
Oh, not to cut you off, right?
Oh.
Somebody said exactly what you just said. I was gonna say that when you finish. But go right ahead.
Well, anybody can be a father because a sperm donor becomes a father. You know, not everybody can be a dad.
Facts.
It takes work, it takes love, it takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
You have to love something more than you love yourself to be a dad.
Right.
That's real spit.
All right, so the next question is, who was your role model of fatherhood growing up? And if you didn't have one, how did that affect how you raised your children?
Pops. You go first.
Or how you're raising your children? Because most of you are still raising your children.
Well, for me, it was my Uncle Pancho. He was my mother's sister's husband. He was the biggest influence of how I wanted to be when I became a father, watching him be a father. My father had nothing to do with how I became a father. He was not a role model. But my uncle, watching him and how he treated his daughters and how he treated me, that was my biggest influence.
That's good. About you, Saya?
Yeah, you know, I come from that era where everybody was having a lot of babies and you know, wasn't a lot of fathers in the households, and you know that's something that still plagues us to this day. So oddly enough, my first male role model was a child himself. Was my bigger brother. My brother was only 4 years older than me, but he, you know, if you ever met him, you
Shout out
would
to
see
Justice, my dude.
that he, you know, he holds his ground. He always, he's the same
Pretty
person
so.
right now, as far as I can remember, since he was 8 years old. He's always been one of those male figures in my life. But as far as influences, I pretty much drew from my environment. Whether it was, you know, sad to say, some drug dealers, hustlers, and things like that from the neighborhood, how they carried and catered to me. I also had some really good positive role models. Not that even the drug dealers were somewhat positive. You know, just a weird connotation to sit there and say you're a drug dealer.
Rennie, what's
You
up?
know, these are people that lived in the street life, so let me just say it that way. People that live in the street life, they give me morals and principles and things about character and lessons as early as I can remember. I also had a lot of basketball coaches,
Facts.
you know, that took to me, and you know, my uncle went to the S's early on, but my uncle was basically like the black superhero to me. It was like he was invincible to me.
I hear that.
You know, so it's, you know, it was a cluster. It was a cluster of just about every male that was older than me that I was able to draw from. Well, those were my influences.
Your community.
John.
And not
Oh,
to
sorry,
exclude
sorry.
my own father, pardon me, not to exclude my own father. But the only thing is, I met my father later on in life.
Facts.
You know? So I met him almost like, I was 9 years old, but it was like a man meeting a man, which is odd. Because I knew I was a child, but he always dealt with me like as if I was more of an equal.
Gotcha.
John.
Now that's a good question. My favorite hero was my dad. He was the father figure of my mom's. I lived in a family household. It was not just mom, it was mom and dad.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm
Grandpa was
saying?
real.
You know what I'm saying? He owned his own business. I followed that footstep. At the end of the day, he was there for his kids. He put his kids through college. All right? He was a hustler too, but he owned his own business. He was an entrepreneur. He owned like 5 different businesses. At the end of the day, he showed us that we can do the same thing no matter what this is. Whatever's on your mind, what you want to do, you can do it. It's based on how far you want to go with this. But education was the most important thing. If it's one thing he always said, if you don't have a high school diploma, we can't talk. Until you get that, we can talk. Because I don't put you too far for you to sit back and you can't get a high school diploma. If you don't want to go to college, you ain't got to go to college, but you give me a high school diploma. I deserve that. So at the end of the day, the structure and the way he was doing us for me and my sisters and my brother, it wasn't bad. He was playing hardcore, but at the end of the day, we learned something. You can do anything, be what you want to be. And nobody stop you. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, on top of that, for a 7th grade reading level my father had, it's amazing how many businesses he had: limousine service, meat market service, clothing line, and travel everywhere.
Frankfurt stand.
You know? and the Frankfurt stuff. I forgot
Stop
about
those
that. He
Come
had
on,
that
bro.
too.
Come on.
He had,
All of
you know, he had
All of
everything. And not for nothing, he was the first black man in Harlem to have a Mercedes Benz.
Benz, verse facts.
The first black man in Harlem. So right then that tells you that he was about business, but he also took care of his family and his wife. He made sure of that. No thing can come between that. You know?
Chad.
Well, since you asked the question, I've been sitting here this whole time and wondering to myself, like, am I gonna call him my father or my dad? Like, so I guess it's my pops, you know, like, I mean, he's who I just kind of wanted to grow up being like, you know, like him and my mother. They were together until I was an adult, really. But I just wanted to be a lot like him. So, like, my father's a musician, so, like, you know, he traveled a lot. So then he'd come back with stuff, or we'd have to pick him up from the airport, or he'd have shows in the city. So, like, and I'd be backstage at the shows, and he would kind of show me stuff. Or, you know, like, if he did, like, radio jingles, he'd be like, yo, that right there on Kiss FM or whatever, like, I did that. So, like, I started, you know, the ever-ending quest we all do where we just feel like we're trying to win our father's love. You know, like, I kept trying to, his way of, like, not telling me good job, so to speak, so much, or, like, the attaboy I was always looking for was me, oh, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to work at whatever I do so that you can't deny me. So, like, in high school, I said, yo, I want to make beats. He gave me this, like, we had this cheap program, and I was just exhausted. He gave me an old tape, a 4-track recorder, started recording that. Exhausted, anything he gave me. He went away with Gerald Levert one summer to play, and he said, all right, you can use my studio downstairs. Right. And when he came back at the end of the summer, his computer was full of music that I made. So it was like, oh, you got to get your own now. And I, you know, so that's always just kind of been the dynamic.
Facts. I like that. Dave.
Well, I didn't really have a dad growing up. He left when I was 4. If I knew he was gonna come here and open up old wounds, I probably wouldn't have came. You know what I'm saying? So I really didn't have anybody like, you know, to raise me like that. So I just, you know, people from the neighborhood and the block and the older dudes and my brothers when they was around, they tried or whatever. So it was mostly just people that, you know, tried or even like gave a damn that, you know, practically raised me or whatever.
But you know what, bro? I ain't gonna lie. The way you raised, I see you, bro. You doing a good job, son. All y'all doing good jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
you know what I mean? Like, that's a fact. So, got you.
All right, what's the biggest mistake that you've made as it relates to fatherhood?
Oh.
I don't think I made no mistake. No. That's a crazy question because when you got 5 kids, you make a mistake with each one. You know, because you think what you think you should have gave this when you gave that one, what you should have not gave this when you gave that one over there. So the biggest mistake is just trying to figure out what each one's need is and trying to meet that need, and then sometimes you don't. And that's the most disappointing thing for me as a father, is that when I think I failed giving that particular child what that particular child needed.
Good. That was a good answer. Sire?
Yeah, I think he pretty much summed it up. I think it's a really tough question in the sense that, you know, it's the same thing like asking, are you a good dad? Like, you know, my job's not done, so I really can't tell it. You understand what I'm saying? So as far as my biggest mistake, I don't know. I think it's more or less a mixture of patience, a mixture of the same thing, assessing what each child needs, because, like you said, they're all their own individuals, so they have different needs. It's just that simple. And being able to assess that in the moment, sometimes you might not get it right.
Exactly.
You know, you just got to make adjustments later on. That's all it is.
That's a good question, though. When you got, like you said, 3 different personalities, and you come short with one, then the other one may feel like, wow, what happened to me? And you say to yourself, I'm gonna fix this. And sometimes it's too late to fix it, because no matter how you look at it, kids gonna look at it differently. If one get more than the other, then down the line, they're gonna feel some type of way. If the other one don't get, because the other one getting better, they're gonna feel some type of way. So at the end of the day, if you can't balance it out right for those kids, like this is the same when I was growing up. My mother would buy me a pair of sneakers, but if she didn't have enough money to buy my brother a pair of sneakers, she ain't buy neither one of us.
That's real.
That's how it is. If he don't have, you're not gonna have. So that's how I came. That's how I grew up in that life. And sometimes you find yourself doing the same thing. But these kids today, it's a whole different game. It's a whole. They hold grudges. They get attitude. Oh, you love him more than me, and you looking like what? And at the end of the day, you say, you know what? I gotta figure this out, because they all 3 different personalities, and that's the hardest part. You know.
Okay, it's Chad.
Well, like I went to college for psychology, and like my educational psychology teacher, he said, and it's something I always just remembered. He said, kids are geniuses until they're about 5 years old, and then their parents mess it up. But like, because he said basically like, it takes an ingenious person to go from just absorbing everything to, if you speak multiple languages, it just knows it knows which one is what. And to go from that and being able to take everything in and then form a personality, like that's a genius thing. But once he said parents messed it up, I was like, yeah, you know, you're right. Or anytime you go see a therapist, usually after why are you here, they ask you, what's your relationship with your parents like? Because the truth of the matter is, like, your childhood follows you through the rest of your life. So one thing, I guess I say all that to say, like, I don't harp too much on mistakes that I made, because I know I'm gonna mess my kid up somehow, some way, you know. And so like that's something I tell them. I say, yo, I know y'all are young now. When you're older, or even like they see me and my mother or my parents get into it, you know, it'll be like, look, one day y'all will realize I'm a human and I make mistakes, or you're gonna look back at your life and be like, oh shit, like, yo, this dude was nuts. But you're gonna do the same. You're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna mess your kids up too. So like, you know what I'm saying? So when they come to me with it, all right, hey, you know what? That's it. I don't know what it is, because it could be the one time my daughter asked for ice cream and I just said no a certain way, and then she's traumatized for life when she hears the word no, you know. Or we all have that story of our own as kids, you know.
Right.
So.
Yeah, Dave, you the comedic relief today, bro.
So much pressure. Nah, but well, she's only 12, so, and once plus, I really don't make mistakes. You know what I mean? Just what I do. Nah, but I really don't think I made a mistake yet. To her, I probably made 1,000. But hopefully, I keep it going, and I try and stay mistake free. But you know that shit ain't happening. Next weekend I might make a mistake, you know what I'm saying? But I try not to, because growing up, there's so much shit that I wish my father would have been there for, my mother would have did. Like, you know, I was the first person to graduate from high school. All I ever wanted was my mother to go to that. She ain't even show up. I was like, Ma, you missed my graduation. Oh, that was today? Fuck you mean? Like, how did you forget that?
Yeah.
So it's things like that I make sure I try not to miss. It's little things that you gotta do.
All right, so what would you say is the most rewarding thing about fatherhood?
We're gonna go back the opposite way.
Watching your
He
children
thugging it.
grow. Watching your children grow and become the person that they are. Yes, watch them become successful. Watch them become just a complete human being. And you know that you had something to do with that. You know, you don't know. I don't take a whole lot of credit. You know, I give God most of the credit. But just to watch them grow and become all that they can be, you know, and I think that's probably the most rewarding part of me being a dad, is watching my kids become more than.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with everything he just said, because you know, one of my children is still young. You know, my son is pretty much at that age where I remember the most. You know, like he just got finished saying, like, you know, your childhood follows you throughout your whole life, and my kids are in that transition where, you know, you can see, like,
Yeah.
The
even my oldest kid, the teenager,
Yeah.
my daughter's like a hair away from saying, You can't tell me nothing. I'm wrong.
Just waiting for that moment.
It's like, relax. You gotta grow until you take care of your own shop. Or, you know, my son is just so smooth and so mellow to where, you know, you can see, like, he has no cares in the world. His only motivation in life is just to wake up. He has no pressures. He can do, the world is his oyster. He can do whatever he wants with it and doesn't even realize that. You get where I'm coming from? But, and just being able to experience it from that other window. Because it's like, I feel more gratitude in the fact that I'm able to provide them certain things where I had shortcomings, but they don't know nothing about those shortcomings. They're not even aware of that. It's a whole nother reality. You know, my kids are suburban kids. You follow what I'm saying? When I was a city kid, I was just aware of things at an age when kids ain't even supposed to be thinking about half the things I was experiencing and seeing. You follow what I'm saying? So it's that. The most gratifying and most rewarding part about being a father is being able to witness my kids go through an experience, and I can measure it to say, well, that's better than the way I had it.
Nice.
You get what I'm going?
Yeah.
That was good.
That was good.
Well, kids do have better than we do right now.
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah.
Look at the things.
Hell yeah.
You serious?
Yeah.
They're more advanced than us.
Oh my God.
At the end of the day, you're sitting there looking stupid. Like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be teaching you that.
Yeah.
And it's turned the other way around. And these kids, they do teach us as fathers, because a lot of things we don't know. And if you open-mindedly and have your ears open to them, you know, they make a lot of sense. Just like when you talk to them, it makes a lot of sense to them sometimes, because they like that air, got the little stubbornness. They think they know it all.
Yeah.
No, they
It
get
was
certain,
like that though.
Yeah, it was all like that. But these kids is getting so out of control as fathers. That's why I said we need fathers to be around these kids, because some of these kids, they be beating on their parents.
Yeah, I know.
So it's a whole different. It's a
That
whole
wasn't happening with my dad.
My
My father would have shot me.
You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm getting at. It's a whole different era.
True.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, these kids are sitting there, okay, you can give them the world.
Ernest was good.
You can give them anything they want, and it's never satisfied.
Right.
And then when they're gonna be disrespectful to them, they like you owe them. They forget you put the roof on
I
their
got you.
head, food in their mouth, clothes in their back, and even they get in their 20s, they still think you owe them something. And then when they live with you,
Right.
you know the magic word. If you don't like it, get out.
Right.
And they still sitting there like, what do you mean? Everything in blank. Come on, you blink. What do you mean?
I'm
That's reality.
I'm just waiting for the day. I can feel it. I know my daughter's in that space when she
You say that?
I can see you how you gonna handle it. I don't even know how you gonna handle it. That's the funny part to me right now. I'm like, how's Simon gonna handle that? Like, what are you gonna do, bro?
I'm grabbing every bit of sneaker. I'm grabbing
Burning them.
iMacs. I'm grabbing phones. I'm putting all that stuff in the pile and saying,
Yeah.
you pay me for this, you can
KB.
show me how grown you are.
Yeah,
Until you
facts.
providing all this stuff on your own, you listen to what I say and do what I tell you to do.
And they still want to test the water.
Yeah, you know?
Yo, KP, Instagram's trash.
Well,
I'll tell you.
Instagram's having,
Well,
they
part-
having, they having issues. Just,
I believe part of that is our fault. See, because we
Easy.
work so hard to try to give them what we didn't have,
Right. True.
that they take it for granted because it looks so easy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree with
You
that.
make
And see,
it look
when we
easy.
came up,
Yeah.
you know, especially like you and I,
Yeah.
when we came up, we worked for what we
Of
got.
course, we had
Your
to.
parents made you work to get that little extra.
Exactly.
See, they get the little extra for free
Yeah, they got it all.
because we want to give them more. We don't make them work for it. We don't make them have chores for it. You know, because we want to provide them everything we didn't have, but we forget to make them have that ethic. Now, I've been lucky in that my kids watch me work hard, and most of them got that. My daddy goes to work every day.
Facts.
He working hard every day. So my kids get out there on the grind and do what they got to do. But still, they have taken things for granted
Yeah.
because my kids never knew we were poor
Right.
because we were poor. But my kids, I never let that touch my kids.
Right.
Right.
You know, and maybe I should have
Yeah, it's one of those
in
things.
some instances, not
Teach a
always.
little poverty.
Yeah, just a little.
It's a little bit.
You know what's so
A
funny?
little bit of
Teach
poverty and teach you how to
Yeah,
go
that
a long
little
way,
poverty
man.
never hurt
I'm telling you.
nobody.
when they open the refrigerator, they there's no food in there.
Ain't nobody
What
ever say,
happened?
man, I died from poverty. Oh, damn, he died. He was good, but poverty killed him. I never heard that before. Just the other day, my daughter has a phone, and she goes, Daddy, my phone ain't really working. What my dumb ass do? I go to Sprint store and I buy a brand new iPhone.
Exactly.
We was kids, Mom, my phone ain't working. That shit gotta have wires, screen cracked, buttons popped off. That shit gotta be bad.
Can
It gotta
you
be
call
not working.
somebody?
You know what I'm saying?
That's-
Exactly.
Can you call somebody?
Nowadays, just like sneakers. When we was growing up, kids was making fun of us because of our sneakers. So now they want a pair of sneakers, the shit's get a little dirty. We gotta go buy new ones. Our toes had to be hanging out of that shit to get new sneakers. It gotta be out of the beginning of the
Water had to be seeping through the soul.
Yeah, and you ain't even gonna
Okay.
think about asking your mother or your father
See,
for
the
a pair
great
of
part of
sneakers.
Bob, like, damn, it's getting really
Yeah,
cold.
this socks gotta be touching
My son
dirt.
over in that less than J's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I get
You
it.
know?
I had shit that came in the tables outside of the store. Those that was tied up together. You be lucky if you find your
No, you have
socks.
to do like that.
Those.
You got to go right, left, 9, or
Yeah.
8.5.
You know what?
Now you're looking for the other 9.
You know what? You know what? I guess I'm a 10 now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't letting these go. I wanted these for 14 years. They're finally on the table. I'm getting them now. You know what I'm saying?
So Chad, what was the answer? Chad, you answering now? Yeah, so here go.
I think the one thing, the great thing about fatherhood that no one talks about is how well it is for your ego. You know, there's a person that just loves you and thinks you are the greatest thing on the planet. They look just enough like you, but they're a little smarter and better at things than you. That you can sit there and like, you know what? That's like a little me, but better. You know, and they think I'm awesome. Like
Better version of yourself.
You don't wanna ask
exactly.
them
So like
sometimes.
that's enough to go. Pat on the back. If you did anything right, you did that. You know.
Like, I know how to fix this, but I'm gonna ask you, you know how to do this? Because I gotta teach you. So, you know, you can fix this, and I'll see if you did it right, and hopefully they did it right, because if not, you asked out.
Like you were saying, cause my nephew, he just turned 13 like 2 weeks ago. So like, it's that age where, all right, like I have some memories. Like my daughter's like 8, but like 13. Like I was just having a conversation with Early the other day, cause his son's younger.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like my nephew, he's turning 13. He's like, what's that like? And I was like, remember, I told him,
man.
I said, remember you at 13.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought about it for a second. It's like, now remember, I knew you at 13 while I'm saying this to you. And he thought about it for a second, and then he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I was terrible at 13. So I don't know if y'all seen the episode I did with my mother. She brought up the thing when I was 13, how I got caught in the crib with a chick. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm at 13. Like, so I was terrible. So Messiah, no. We used to be wild. So I can imagine your kids. I can imagine your kids right now.
Though, it's just, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I got a daughter.
Both of them.
Yeah, we got advantages.
My
I
kids,
think we all
my
have
kids are mild.
advantages,
That's one thing I'm not gonna work for. I thank God for that every day. You know, because one, like I said, there's certain experiences that I had at a young age,
Man,
certain
son.
things I witnessed at their ages or even younger.
That was wild.
That's not even on their wavelength. Like, you know, my son don't really care too much about nothing more than a video game. And he's very low maintenance. You know, my daughter's a little bit moving sassy. She want to kind of get her hair done and nails done. Every time I turn around, she wear the belly shirt. I told her, listen, man, next time you wear a belly shirt, I'm wearing one too. So as you I go with it so you can feel how I feel. You understand what I'm saying? Because I just feel like reciprocity is the part of the process. You know?
If she got an outfit that's going with that belly shirt, you're wearing a belly shirt that day.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? She's like, I don't care, Pop. She go with these shoes.
It's just that thing, you know, because she don't see what I see. You understand what I'm saying? For her, she's just wearing a cute outfit. I'm seeing all these perverts.
You see
and
boys
pictures.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? She don't see that. To her, it's just I'm going to school. I'm going where everybody got on a belly shirt.
This is what girls
If I
is
go,
wearing.
I'm the only one that don't
Exactly.
have one on. You
This is what
understand?
everybody's wearing. I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
I tell my kids, hey, those people, they usually wash later in life. So I straight up tell them that, like, okay, yeah, that's fine if you don't now. They'll burn themselves out, and then when you can wear a belly shirt and it look right,
Look
and
right in it,
you'd be
yeah.
like, hey, better, you know?
But the good thing is, you know, we have open dialogues and things like that. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I think that's the key.
Yeah, we have open dialogue. So it's just as easy as cavalier as this conversation is at this table. I have them with my kids. You know, I'm
That's
saying
good. That's
person
always good with
24
it,
hours
yeah.
a day.
Dave, you last one answer this question, so answer it, man. I mean, I think you kind of already did, but
I ain't even going. What was it?
Dave is the worst.
Rewarding thing about fatherhood.
The what?
The most rewarding thing about
Oh.
fatherhood. What makes you feel good about it?
Yo, man, your daughter's
I
good,
don't know,
bro.
just looking at someone where I
she look like
created that
you.
and she's doing good.
Yeah, bro, I don't
You know,
hear
every day
it.
she makes you proud. It's like, I don't know, she they just make you proud. You know what I'm saying? Every day. They don't even realize it,
Yeah.
but they just doing it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
All right.
Next question.
Fathers don't seem to get praised as much as mothers. How do you guys feel about that? Does it make you feel away? Do you feel like mothers should get praised as much as fathers? Fathers
Well,
should get praised as much as
well,
mothers?
Mothers promote themselves better than we do. They remind them, I carried you for 9 months. I
18
went through
hours
so
later.
much pain for you.
Right.
See, and we're so busy trying to be the provider, we ain't got time to promote ourselves.
Exactly.
We on the grind. We trying to get it done, you know. And our role is a provider and protector, not to promote ourselves, you know. And then it's later on in life. So right now, I'm the beneficiary of all of that grinding because what I get from my kids now,
Oh, yeah.
whew,
You are.
I know I did something right.
Yep.
Right.
You know, because like we was talking about having open dialogue with my kids, we pretty much can talk about anything, especially me and this one here.
Yeah.
We can talk. This is not only my daughter, she's actually probably my best friend,
That's
Oh.
lovely, man.
you know. So we talk about any and everything. But my other kids, we can talk about most things. Like some of them go to their mom, some of them will come to me. It depends. Like I said, but you know, it's, you know, sometimes I get emotional when I think about my kids because they define me.
Right.
They make me. They made me the man. I wouldn't be the man I am today if I hadn't had kids. See, because I grew up in the hood. I grew up wanting to be a gangster. I've been a drug dealer. You know, I've been a whole lot of things in life. But when I had my first kid,
Change everything.
my life changed.
Yeah.
And I saw life differently.
Mm-hmm.
And once I saw life differently, and I wanted more for them, it helped me to be better.
Right.
See, because then not only did I want more for them, it helped me to get more for me.
Right.
You know, so, you know,
Jimmy,
I'm a proud
my
pop.
sister said, yo, Janine pops remind me of my pops. Crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Right.
you do.
No. But yeah, like I said, I couldn't be happy about who I am and my kids right now. Yeah.
Messiah.
As far as the promotion of my, like, I don't really have an issue with that. Only because, you know, like I said, I grew up in an era where it was more single mothers, so, you know.
Your mom's
like,
the
man,
real one.
And pops is the only pops I knew, and they wanted them pops. It was like 2 fathers out of like two classes of kids.
Facts.
You
I'll
know what I'm
never
saying?
forget
That lived in our section.
Yeah.
So, and that's one a testament to how strong and how great of the men that they were. But everybody has different factions as to why they, you know, some people parents, you know, fell short. Some people had an early demise due to some form of violence. You understand what I'm saying? Some people's parents just aren't compatible. You get where I'm coming from? And mothers, they didn't take no days off. They carried the burden of both roles. So I don't have an issue with that.
Your mom's is the real one.
Yeah,
So
my
I
mom's is the real
ain't
one.
gonna lie. I can't even say she's not.
Exactly. My
So
mother raised 3 on her own. You know.
yeah.
You know, and to even touch on an even deeper subject, says me, my brother, and one of my cousins, we like 3 of the only men in my family that never been incarcerated. You know what I mean? So that 2 out of that 3 is due to my mother, and technically all 3 because my mother even helped raise my cousin. You get where I'm coming from? So my mother was one of those type of mothers that you know, she was a statue. So I believe anybody that's doing their job and doing it to the fullest deserve all of the credit in the world for it.
Okay.
You know?
John, go ahead.
Make a joke out of it. Every time Mother's Day come around, flowers, all kinds of cards. I'd be like, you know what? How you become a mother? It wasn't for me. I planted the seed.
All my life.
I deserve some tools. Like, hello, I want flowers. I want candy.
Let's use that capability.
So if I didn't give you the seed, how would you been a mother?
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, it should balance out. Because you got good fathers that do just like mothers do. When moms is working,
Right.
father was home, they switch shifts. One work nights, one work days. He's some mother too. At the end of the day, he got to sit there and talk to the daughter, talk to his son. When she have her first menstrual, he may be the first one around when it happens. So now, credit got to be balanced out.
Yeah.
Because the sad part about it, we don't get known until down the line. But at the end of the day, we like mothers too.
Yeah, in the middle of
Like he just said, you just said you get emotional. That comes sometimes from a female too. You get emotional because you feel something in your heart. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
But I tell anybody, I'm a mother. Been called a mother a bunch of times.
but it's all good though. Everybody get the credit.
Exactly.
You know.
I think, well, I'm in a different position because, like, my daughter's mother passed away when my daughter was 9 months. So, like, all my daughter knows, she doesn't know life with a mother at all. She doesn't have a memory of it. So, like, I never say I'm mom and dad because, first of all, I live with my mother because my mother helps out and, like, you know, we're a tribe. So, like, so she's got a mother figure in her life, but like, for the most part, it's just daddy, you know, which is cool because hey, you get all of the attention, but then you get all the attentions, but then, you know, so sometimes like, I get, or even I guess even just without her mother's around. I see and understand and promote how much, hey, you know what, y'all can have that because I see that unique space to be what it's like without.
Okay. Dave.
No, I mean, promotion is all right. We don't really get none, but it's all right. Whatever little bit we get, we appreciate. You know, but just like Mother's Day. Mothers always say, I really don't want to make a big deal. You don't have to give me none. But God forbid you don't get them none. It's a fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? But fathers, when we say, yeah, you really get none, we mean that shit. Because we really don't expect none. We wake up and make pancakes. All right, that's cool. If I could just sit down and watch TV and nobody bother me, that's my
a great
Father's
gift
Day.
right there.
That's my Father's Day. Leave me the fuck alone. That's all I ask. Just give me one day where I can just be left alone, even though they don't even give you that. Who gonna do these dishes? You just gonna sit down and watch. Let's go do something. I am doing something. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it takes a lot to do nothing.
Who's gonna do the barbecue? Who's gonna like the barbecue?
Yeah, who gonna do the barbecue? You
I
gotta go to the supermarket and buy this.
I always do the barbecues. Every barbecue, I'm the man.
You see?
Well, that's because I am actually the man. But no, but really, we contribute to that because we make sure we go all out for the mother too.
Right.
Not only do the kids, but the kids see what you do, so they're just emulating you too. Because you go all out for the mother. So why shouldn't the kids?
My father used to always say, he's always saying, don't worry about me, make sure your mother good.
Yeah.
He used to always tell me that, so that's what I used to do. I used to always make sure my mother was good. Until I lost my father, that's when I realized, I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I could have did a little bit more for him, you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel what y'all coming from.
I think some of that just comes down to a man's validation comes from his work.
Facts.
So more than anything, you just want a pat on the back or just saying, hey, thanks for doing that or whatever. Like, you know, like sometimes, you know, like I think about all the times when they'll say, oh, you know, men are dogs. Yes, they are, because all we really do is we running around doing all stuff because we just want the pat on the head and saying, good boy, good boy, and our day is made. Like, that's it.
All right. So all of you seem to, with exception of maybe one or two, agree that women should get the praise or that you don't really have a problem with it.
No.
That being said, do you feel a way when you hear people wishing mothers a happy Father's
Yes.
Day?
I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all gotta stop
Okay,
with that.
y'all feel
I'm
away
not even
about
the pops, and
that.
y'all gotta stop with that.
Okay, y'all
gotta-
feel away about that. So
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I don't even know if that gotta be answered. But yeah, I mean, yes. And I'm not even a father, and yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. But yeah,
but
y'all wanna
why?
answer
You
it?
can't just say that you have a feeling. You gotta say why you have a feeling.
Dave, let Dave go first. Go ahead, Dave. I want you to
First
think
of all,
about your
it's our
answer.
fucking day. Give us one day. You ain't gotta take every goddamn thing. You know what I mean? We don't on Mother's Day. We say, yo, happy Mother's Day to me because I do both. No, we don't even do that, so y'all shouldn't do it either. You know what I'm saying? Give us one day. So all we ask for Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? We barely get shit on Christmas. So, at least let's get something on Father's Day. You know?
I agree with that.
I
Go ahead,
think, I hate it, but I think some of what it comes down to is I tell my daughter and my nephew this all the time, or even like just as a single father and everything that I've been through. I get a lot of people who wish me happy Mother's Day, and I'll be like, thanks, my day's in June, you know, because at the end of the day, just the best mother in the world can't do what I can,
Exactly.
and vice versa. And you know, so like I can't do the things that, like, there's, even if it's just little, there's certain kinds of thinking quick on your toes that's just second nature for a mother that we may have to sit quiet and plan for example. Like, it'll be little things like that, but those things make a world of a difference. So hey, I know what I can't do. I try my best, but yeah, that's it. I can't be a mother, and because that's just same way I can't carry a child and I don't have the equipment to do that. It goes the other way around.
Fair enough.
Facts.
I just feel like everybody should have their own entity. Father's Day, Mother's Day, Mother's Day.
Okay.
You know, that's how I see it. Now, I do understand why most mothers say I'm a father and mother, because you're a single parent without a dad, so you're trying to do both. I see why they also say that. But just keep it real. Mother's Day is Mother's Day, Father's Day. Don't put it together.
Yeah, I'll even keep it simpler than that. The role is the role.
Basically.
At the end of the day.
Basically.
Like he said, you can be the most amazing mother in the world, but that makes you the most amazing mother in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make you anything more or less than that. You understand what I'm saying? Plus, there's another facet to that where you kind of emasculate men in that sense. You understand what I'm saying? Because even though you have some people that are remarkable people, you just have amazing people that can fulfill the shoes. The cards that they're dealt, they take their licks and they keep on moving with them. However it comes, how they move. They make the best out of the worst situation. But in the same instance, that role is reserved for the individual who, just because somebody didn't measure up to it, doesn't make you that. You get where I'm coming from? And it's not a knock. It's not a knock. It's reserved. That lane is reserved for a reason. You follow what I'm saying? So whether it's an uncle or whoever, it's certain men things. So the same thing. My mother was one of those amazing mothers. In my eyes, mother was one of those amazing mothers. She did a really good job, because in hindsight, she did it without a man. You know, like my mother never even brought a boyfriend around. Like, this is your stepdaddy, and like we never had none of those type of games. You understand where I'm coming from? She did what she did, but even in that, as a man, to this day, the things that I had to learn on my own, and certain things she couldn't teach me. And where she did not teach me, it's not because she was anything short of a person or an individual. It's just that role was reserved for men to teach. Certain things that only a man can teach. You understand what I'm saying?
Understood. Makes sense.
Well, there's no such thing as Happy Father's Day to a mother, plain and simple. I think everybody at the table so far explained it perfectly. As you young people would say, you just need to stay in your lane.
Back.
If you're the mother, you're the mother, you know? And while a lot of, I don't know everybody at this table, but we all know single parents, single mothers, single fathers. I know quite a few single fathers who are raising their kids by themselves, but they're not trying to be those kids' mother. They're just trying to be the best father that they can be to that child, you know? So there's no such thing as a Happy Father's Day to a mother, because she can never be that child's father. because she can't give that child what a man can give that child.
Oh, nothing.
We are unique in our own
Makeup.
special way. We're unique creatures. God made us different for a reason. And that reason is because I can give this that you can't give, and vice versa.
There's a certain fear of God that comes along with, I'm going to tell your father.
Okay.
You know, that's a different kind of, like, you know, like you can even be more afraid of your mother, and she may give the more ass whooping even, but nonetheless, there's a part of you there's a part of your soul that goes like this when you hear, I'm gonna tell your father, you go,
God.
you drop a little inside.
That's facts. That's a fact. I want to say, you know what I'm saying, I had a homegirl, I had a conversation, this is crazy that you asked that question, good question. I had a conversation with my homegirl the other day, and she was just saying that she can't stand her baby father and stuff like that, and she got 2 sons. And I was like, listen, I know you can't stand him, but he's trying. It's not about you and him. It's about your son. Your son needs a male role model, bro. My father was a great father, so I know. And I was wild. My mother, there's nothing she could have did as good as the mother my mother is. For the me, my brother Brian, and Gavin, we was terrorists. I needed my father to put me in line, and that was it. So sometimes as people, we gotta understand, like you said, there's a difference. Play your role, stay in your lane. You the moms, and you need your father sometimes to back you up, and he needs to teach your sons, especially with the sons, because the black man right now is losing. So you need your fathers in your life. I don't want to hear, oh yeah, mother this and the mother that. Play your role. If it can't be the father, find another male role model.
There you go.
Something, but it has to be some type of male role model in the boy's life. Cause we losing right now, and until we get people understand that, we gonna lose. That's it. Next question.
Have y'all ever had to deal with jealousy amongst your siblings about the relationship that you have with your kids? So you all seem pretty close. Well, you only have the one, but you have 3. You said you're close with them. You have 5, so you're close with them. How do you deal with it? If you had to deal with that jealousy between them, how did you deal with that?
Well, I don't, because everybody know that y'all are all equal. And the thing is that you tell them that you're all equal, but you have a different relationship with each one.
Yeah.
And see, the relationship I have with this one is not the relationship I have with this one. And see, if this one over here thinks that, well, you're doing more with her, or it's not that. Our relationship is different because you're different. You're not the same person that person is. This daughter here is not like any other my other 2. So yes, my relationship with her is going to be totally different than the relationship I have with this one and this one. The relationship I have with my sons are totally different because this one is totally different from that one.
Facts.
So this one is going to look and say, well, you love him more. No. My relationship with him is different than the one I have with yours, but it's not that I love him more.
Right.
You know? Well, why don't you talk to me the way you talk to her? I would, but you don't talk to me, and you don't check on me, and you ain't around me the way that she is. So I can't have that kind of relationship with you, because you chose to be different than she is. And if you're different, then I have to treat you different, talk to you differently, because we don't have that kind of relationship where I can talk to you about everything, because you don't tell me about nothing. You don't share. I know everything that's going on in this young lady's life because she has no problem talking to her daddy. She was 20 years old and still sitting on my lap and saying, Dad, rub my stomach, because she was having her menstrual and she was having stomach cramps. That's how close we are.
It gets deeper than that.
Yeah.
He giving you the light version.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's the relationship that we have.
Hey, what's up, Angela?
So each relationship is different, and while one sibling may be jealous of that sibling, I tell him, you ain't got no business being jealous unless you're going to start acting exactly like she act. If you're going to start acting like she act, you're going to call me up and say, are you okay? Are you going to call me up and say, Daddy, I need, or Daddy, can we talk? You don't do that. See, because the relationship which you have with your mother is different than the relationship you have with me. Her relationship with her mother is not the same relationship. Her mother is jealous of our relationship. But they have a great relationship. What, y'all down in that basement, what was y'all talking about? You know? So, I don't deal with jealousies because to me, they're all the same. I just have a different relationship with each one of y'all. And if you choose to feel differently, then act differently.
Okay.
If that's what you want, if you want the kind of relationship I have with this one, start acting like that one and you'll get the same exact thing.
You two don't got multiple kids, so we're gonna just do these two right here.
Yeah. Like I said, my kids are still young, so you know the older ones, they kind of speak the air that the baby is favored. But she's not really even a baby no more. She's just the youngest, so she warrants the most attention because she needs the most attention. And the way I combat it is like, do you want me to treat you like a 5-year-old? Because if that's what you want, then that's what I can do. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there comes, when it comes, certain responsibilities with age, there come certain privileges with age. So I just pretty much try to prep them for the transition. And the same thing, even like with my oldest two, Yasir and Tanis, you know, one's a boy, one's a girl. You know, there's certain things that I'm okay with a boy doing that I'm not okay with a girl doing. There's certain freedoms that I'm okay with allotting, even though you're right behind them. But, you know, we have to work up that level of comfort because me and him have had certain dialogues that allowed that. You know, the same thing. It's like he just said, every conversation that you and him had, your siblings are not privy to, unless they were there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then vice versa. So every conversation you had with one of your siblings, you're not privy to
right.
because you weren't there. And it's one of those things. So I just try to prep them for the transition, you know, so I don't bait them and I don't dodge the question. I kind of move at it head on and let them know, like, listen, you're in your space for a reason. More or less worry about yourself. Because I got all of y'all. There's no difference amongst me. My whole thing in life is to make sure that all three of y'all are good. Right?
John, what you got?
I ain't gonna lie, he said a mouthful. Everything he said, he's right though. You know what I mean?
He's on the wisdom side
You know
of
what
the
I'm saying?
table.
So everything he said, I agree with. So I'm on the same page. So nothing you can do when it comes to that. I mean, there's no favoritism, but they don't see it that way. You know, the oldest one you're gonna probably be more close to because you're firstborn. Now it just a certain relationship. There's nothing. I don't have a relationship with you the same way. It's a little different. You're older, so if you're older, I can talk to him older because he's at that certain age level. And you may be at the middle point where I don't think you're ready for this conversation. You may take a little personal.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The youngest one, that's like I can talk to him later on because he wanted to play video game. He ain't even concerned about nothing. So it's like the two oldest ones you gotta be more concerned about.
Yo, when I was growing up, it was a little different. Like, my pops is kind of funny, like, because he knew. Like I said, I don't know, it's kind of my household, the kids knew. Like, with me, my father couldn't talk to me how he talked to Gavin. Yeah, y'all know Gavin. Can't talk to me how you talk to Gavin. You can talk to Gavin nice and have that conversation and then tell him one time, Gavin's not going to do it. With me, it takes 10 times. It's not going to work. Brian, 30 times. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jasmine, 50 times. So, but the thing is like, kids, there should be no jealousy. It should not be no jealousy amongst the kids because you're dealing with different personalities and different types of, you know, how people act and stuff like that. But that's a good question. These questions are pretty good, Janine. I ain't gonna lie. I'm over here. I didn't write these questions. God, she did. Like, yeah. Okay.
So Daddy touched on
You had
this.
something to say?
Oh yeah, I was
Sorry.
gonna say because like my nephew and my daughter, like they call each other brother and sister.
Okay.
Oh yes, yes.
So like they it's an interesting dynamic because like if I have any other kids, like these two grew up together, so it's gonna be something. It's gonna be a completely different life. But I have a twin sister, so even like the fights that they have, like been there, done that. Like you want to talk about a sibling rivalry where it's equal, so it's like, oh, y'all are the same age, so why are you getting treatment differently? Like, so I kind of attack it from that way. Like, well, sometimes I'll say to one or the other, double standard. That's just kind of how it goes.
Okay, yo, that's the thing. I forgot you had a twin sister, bro.
Yes.
That dynamic is totally different. That's like another, y'all feel the same thing and you see the same thing. That's kind of crazy, bro. Like, yeah. What's the next question, Janine?
Daddy touched on it a little bit, and he addressed that he just doesn't deal with it. But you two,
Dave, you start with Dave then.
have you experienced jealousy from a woman in your life for the relationship that you have with your child? So they're jealous of the relationship you have with your children or child.
That's a good question. Well, I really only dealt one girl after I broke up with my...
Dave is like Dave is Tommy before Tommy was on what's her name? On Power. He's Tommy before Tommy was on Power.
I'm telling you,
I'm trying to tell y'all don't know.
Life, man.
But go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, bro.
You know, so, but yeah, definitely, but it's mostly your daughter really being the jealous one. You know, like when I first started dealing with a girl, whatever, my daughter would just split our hands up apart like, no, this is not going on, not on my watch. Split these hands apart. No, it's not happening. She would just come and just be like, okay, Dad, you hold my hand, you just hold your hand somewhere else. Hey, hold that shit in the air, you know, for all I care. You know, so, but I haven't really experienced, like, someone being jealous of my daughter. And if so, then, oh, well, just have to fucking live with it or just go.
Not
You know
even
what I
your
mean?
daughter's mother wasn't jealous of the relationship you have with your daughter?
Oh yeah, oh definitely, oh yeah, then that,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, because daughters
the
are always so
question.
affectionate. I thought you meant like, I don't know what I thought, but yeah, definitely because daughters, especially I got a daughter, so they're more affectionate with the father. So my daughter always hug and kiss me, and she won't even acknowledge her mother. You know, mother like, what about me? Can I get a hug? You know, I'm here. Can I get something? Can I get some love? She's like, I guess. No, she gonna hug her. But yeah, so yeah, probably that mostly.
Okay.
Well, my daughter's mother, like, when we found out we were having a baby, like, I just knew, we both knew it was a girl, but she was like, I don't want a daughter first, because I know that's going to take away from the attention. Like, we used to joke about it.
Female stuff. Yeah, it's right. But no, say that again. Say what you just said again.
That basically, you know, she just.
I've heard many females say that.
Hey, I'm afraid I don't want to have a daughter first, because then she's gonna have more of your attention.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think, yeah, that's gonna happen, and like, my daughter is watching me date, like so she'll know, okay, if I'm interested in somebody or I'll see it, or you know. But the thing that's unique is, I think, is because kids are intuitive, she just picks up on stuff. So, you know, there's another person kind of screening, like, okay, you know, well, I see this or whatever. But if I am dating, it's just, unfortunately, hey, you got to get in where you fit in, you know, just because there's stuff going on, there's kids. When it comes to dealing with other women, like, you know, part of the thing is I let everybody think Sydney is the gatekeeper. But she's not. It's my nephew. You know, like, so just when you're looking over here, that one over there is going to be the one that's going to pick up on something and be like, nah, you know.
Okay. John.
I don't have that problem. I got boys.
Okay.
All three boys. I don't have that problem at all.
Yeah, I don't have that problem either.
Okay.
Where we at?
They're about 20, so we got two more, and these are the doozies off of them. So you gotta think hard about it. All right, y'all ready?
Listen, I need light. We need light.
Motherfucker.
All right.
Part of the editing process, guys.
So if you knew you were gonna die, like in an hour, and you had 60 seconds to talk to your children, what would you say? So you got a minute. What would you say? That means we got 5 minutes at this table. Y'all got 5 minutes. 1 minute between y'all. What you gonna say?
I already know.
I already know too.
All right, so
I'm gonna have to borrow from y'all.
all right, check it out. Ask your pops if you ready. If you're not, then I guess we go that way, right?
Okay,
Okay.
first and
He's right.
foremost, remember that when apart, y'all nothing. Together, y'all become a fist. A fist can knock things out. Y'all are family. There's nothing more important than family. I've tried to instill that in y'all. I hope y'all remember that, but bottom line is, if something happened to your sibling, no matter, you ain't speaking to her today, but if something happened to her, you died. Stay a fist. Do not be a hand.
Oh, that was in the 60 seconds. So yeah, I'm timing y'all too. So y'all got 60 seconds.
I
Go.
don't think I need
Exercise.
60 seconds. telling my son, like, yo, Yasir, make sure you take care of your sisters
Facts.
and your mother and your stepmother. And that's that.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Okay, that's what my father told me. Okay, go.
My thing is, I would tell my kids is, I love you, I care about you. Make sure y'all stick together as one. Look out for each other. If one falls down, make sure you pick them up. And make sure you stay there.
Okay.
I would tell them, so we here, you know, like, I mean, I guess this day is coming sooner than we both thought, like, I mean, I deal with things in humor, so that at least when it's all said, like, I'll say, I love you, and, try to give some of the greatest hits, but at the end of the day, like, I'll probably just leave things with a joke or some kind of humor, so that they will, no matter what, oh yeah, at least he went out with a laugh, like, like, hey, that's a nice way to make it what's gonna be hard not so hard.
Okay.
I just pretty much tell my daughter just to stay in school, stay away from boys.
Good luck with that.
Boys ain't shit. That's really pretty much it, though. Just, get a job or whatever she wants to do in life, just focus on that and just try and do that.
Achieve that, yeah.
Okay. You all seem to have a pretty good handle on fatherhood. If you could give young fathers one piece of advice, what would that be?
We're gonna leave you with the last one.
Brand new
I want you to have the
father.
last one. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm sorry, say what?
If you would, like she said, repeat it.
If you could give young fathers one piece of advice, like they're just starting out, the woman's about to have the baby, what's the one piece of advice you would give them?
Run? Nah. Just save up. Get like 4 jobs. Forget hanging out with your friends. Fuck your life, your freedom. Just get used to changing diapers, because them shit's gonna last a long time. Shit's like 3 years of changing diapers. Or you could just think of it, be happy. It's a new baby, new life. You can be positive about it. Just depends on how you're feeling, I guess, at the time.
Okay.
But I like to be honest and tell him he's fucked.
Dave is retarded, Dave has dry humor. Don't take him literally, bro. You see? Dave's great pops, bro. People over here like, this dude. They be like, who is this guy over here? That's my dude.
Child, well, make him be my dog. So you fucked, huh?
I think I'd say patience, because one thing, like, even we say like changing diapers, at one point, like, I was kind of at the beginning stage, I was kind of doing the math in my head. Let's say if you change at least 4 to 5 diapers a day for 2 to 3 years, like the numbers of that. How many times, like, there's a certain age where your kid is going to cry at least once a day for the first 6 or 7 years. At least once a day they're gonna cry for something.
If you're lucky.
Right, that's a light day. I tell new fathers, enjoy the stage, because the next stage is always harder. You think pregnancy is hard? That the being all up, the being up all night because they can't sleep is harder. You think that's hard? They're gonna start trying to eat stuff. Then you gotta throw up. Then then after that, you can talk now. Then you're gonna have a personality. And before you know it, you're 30 years old and you need money from your parents. And that's hard, But then even go back to the last question, then the final stage is the difficult one, because then they've got to get used to, or we have to get used to, we need you to help us. So, and that's the hardest stage for us, because that's when we have to finally like acquiesce and take away some of that, like, I've earned you wiping my ass, or whatever, or it could just be like, now my father is 60 years old and he can't get up and down like he could, so he needs me to come over some days and help him. He's like, man, what would have taken me a week to do, you can do in 2 hours. But that's probably hard for him. And I don't see it, and I won't understand it till I'm there.
That's a good question, though. What would you tell a young person? Like you said, patience is a virtue. You gotta have patience because it's all new to you, and it's a learning process. Just as a learning process for the baby to start growing and get mature, which is a terrible tools and everything. It's a challenge, but you gotta be up for that challenge. You can't run from it. You gotta be the father that you say you made it, you created it. Now you gotta be that father, and don't leave it alone.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I think my advice would be is to be present. You know what I mean? Because you just be surprised. You know, like you said, like when it comes when a child transitions from each stage, once it passes, just like time, you can't. It's a commodity that you can't get back. So be in the presence of that and be aware of that. You understand what I'm saying? And like you said, be patient. There's no manuscript or doctrine that you can truly reference to check everything and get everything right. So you're gonna make mistakes throughout the process. Make the necessary adjustments and just make sure that your intentions are always in a good space. You know what I mean? Because the goal is to groom that child, and that's your fingerprint, that's your fingerprint on when you leave this earth. That's your legacy. That's what that is. That's a representation of you. So you want to garner that with with it being as sacred as it actually is. You get what I'm going?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, it makes perfect sense.
I would tell a young parent, stay involved in your child's life. Because as they grow, you're going to grow. As they get better, you're going to get better. Understand, like he said, there's no blueprint to follow, that mistakes are going to be made. But if you fall down, you get back up. Never, ever forget that your responsibility is to make sure that that child is good. Never forget that. That's your job. That's your responsibility. Because they didn't ask to come here. You brought them here. Your job is to make them and help them to become the best that they can be.
Facts. So we gotta close this up then. We got 10 minutes left, but we're gonna take some pictures. There's a lot of y'all here and stuff like that. So this is a very special episode. Janine, you got anything left to say?
Whew.
I just
That's a lot of talking
appreciate. No, I appreciate you, Dave, so much.
I'm tired of drinking water.
Yeah, I mean, we got y'all want some of this. I told y'all can have some of this.
I done drank more water
Yeah,
than
man.
Dave.
Yo, don't get that on camera, yo. They not trying to pay me, man. They gotta pay us first step.
It's below the camera. You can't see it.
They gotta pay us. Cause
I
I need some of that
appreciate
life, though.
all good fathers, and I appreciate all of you. But I especially appreciate the strong black fathers. We don't have enough of them, and it's been going on for decades, as you noted earlier. And we just need more of it. We need more people like my daddy. I mean, I don't know you young men personally, but you seem like awesome fathers. We need more fathers like you. More fathers that can talk to their kids, that are involved in their children's lives, that can take over for the mother when if the mother leaves this earth untimely. A lot of grandparents would be raising the child and not the father. And I commend you because that doesn't always happen.
We thought you were gonna say because.
Because.
Yeah, where'd you get that from? Like, you from Boston?
Leave me alone. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, and you're awesome. And Dave, you part of us. Hey.
Now, Dave Black, bro. Dave Black. Dave live in the bridge. Like, Dave lives in the hood, bro. Like, that's it. Dave, let me tell you something. Well, yeah, this episode dedicated to all my homegirls. I lost their fathers, you know what I'm saying? Plus my father.
That's it.
You know, Toya lost her father. My homegirl Kia lost her father. Damn, man, I'm mad people lost their fathers, man. And, like, my father was a strong black man. He raised, like, a whole bunch of, kids and stuff. I just want people to know they got to take care of their kids, that's all. I don't want to get emotional, so I'm not going to talk too much. That's why Janine was hosting this. But the key to this whole thing is to show that black men can communicate and come together and have a forum and teach people a positive message. You know what I'm saying? So with this message, I want you to take to the next person. Ladies out there, if you're a single mother, you'll have the hardest job in the world, but you need a man in your life. I don't want to hear, I see it on my Facebook all the time. I got a lot of homegirls, females. I know it's a hard struggle, even if it's not the kid's father. You need a male figure in that life. You need that. These kids, that's why we losing right now. These young boys are becoming, like my boy Science said, they're becoming feminized, and it's crazy. Like, it's just like we losing the battle right now. My father, when I was younger, he's like Messiah said, I'm keeping a buck with y'all. When I was younger, my father used to be in the back of the hood. He would give this one $5, he'd give this one 10, he'd give this one 3. My boy Troy be sitting on the bench with him, sipping Henny with him, and all that other stuff. And I used to be tight, like, yo, why are you doing all of this? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, that's my money, that's my chicken, like, you know what I'm saying? And then he walked me upstairs and he was like, because they don't got a father.
Yeah, all right, man.
I will say, like,
for you.
that's
That's real talk, though.
Yeah, man.
This is why, like, I write about being a father. Like, that's became a profession or something. Like, I kind of
But he did a
stumbled
hell of a
on.
job.
You did,
you
yeah.
here today.
Yeah, man.
You know?
And able to
He
do
did a hell of
this.
a job because you here today, making this platform to help other people become better fathers.
True that.
He raised a great man.
So you good, bro?
Sure
You know?
did.
You
I'm
good,
good,
kid.
man. No,
Let's take this picture so you can smile, bro.
No, I'm good. Y'all gotta catch me on live. So I flipped it. And Stefan gonna edit it. We good.
We're playing it up.
I'm gonna edit that, bro.
Believe you, yo.
Nah, but my father's a real influence in my life.
Yeah,
this has
man.
been a real Q&A.
He's a
You know
real,
what I'm
he's a
saying?
real influence for everybody.
Real questions, real
Real
answers.
questions, real answers, bro. We
And real
good.
emotion.
Real emotions
That's
too.
right.
That's why. That's you know.
That's what his
Don't put emoji on your face. Don't put emoji on your face.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Put the emoji on my face. But yo,
Let me say this.
Nah, go ahead, Simon.
Let me say this.
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
And who you are is a testament to who he was.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? You represent his legacy. So even though he went back to that, he went home, but he's still here because he's within you. You understand what I'm saying? And that's going to be passed on to your children and your brother's children, your sister's children. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the great thing about being a father. See, because you're introduced to the role by way of having children. But that's not the end all be all. It's everything that happens after that. That's that legacy. You get where I'm coming from? Yeah. There's a whole big a broader production that's in play, and you set that in motion. And he set that in motion. He did that for you. You understand what I'm saying? We grew up together. Just think about it. You know what I mean? So some of the things that I didn't witness, you didn't witness.
Exactly.
It ain't and he didn't witness. Yeah. That's like that. He said, "Oh, the white guy." He ain't the white guy.
He ain't the one. That's Dave, bro.
Anybody that know Dave, Dave is not the white guy in the room.
Just like you saw him mentor, even though you might not have kids now, you're still mentoring.
Yeah.
You're still being that positive, what you just told those single mothers, you that man.
Yeah.
You that man that they should have around. You know? So your dad did a hell of a job.
And he
I
does.
commend
He's
him.
here for the single mothers.
Yeah.
No, that's facts.
He was a hell of a dude too, man. You know what I mean? He was a hell of a dude because you knew the same thing. Like he said, it's
like
something
he's-
about going getting daddy. You hear his father's voice, you kind of straighten up a little bit.
That's like you helping your shooter. That's like you helping your nephew, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keeping him busy. You try to keep his head right.
More importantly,
straight. He gonna be
us
straight.
even
You know what I'm
banding
saying?
together. You understand what I'm saying? Because even on a unified front, like this platform is being used in a very good light because we're sitting here discussing it, but even in that, we all have our own testimonies, which you was able to witness.
Yes.
You know where I'm coming from? Like I said, when I look at my kids, the most gratifying thing is me knowing my son is not influenced by the things that would have been influencing me as a kid. It's not even on his radar. My daughter doesn't have a care in the world. You know, every day is a sunny day. You understand what I'm saying? So just being able to provide that is more than enough. It's more than enough. You know what I mean? And it keeps going.
John, you want to say something?
My son went and looked for the hood. I don't even know how he got to be a hood kid. Because he was nowhere near the hood. He went and found the hood.
sure
Because
did.
he's a hood kid now.
Found a chick from the hood.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny.
bro.
I grew up in 40 projects.
Boy.
Okay? Now, my boy ain't never been to 40 projects. We was so far removed from 40 projects when he was born, it's ridiculous. He me not the girl up to live in the building right across from me when I grew up in 40 Project.
Yo, you know what? It's the intrigue. I ain't gonna lie. My father tried to keep me out of that, and I'm the same way. So I understand. You know, shout out to my Buddha, right? Shout out to Buddha. Yeah, John, what you gonna say?
Hood girls need love too.
Not that hood girl, baby. Not that hood girl. We gonna pray for her.
So yeah, we gonna get our final word. I'm gonna let y'all, and then we gonna wrap this up. Okay, John, you got something to say, or you good?
I'm good, man.
Okay. Yeah, Chad.
I just want to say I think discussions like this are great, and I like to see content and things where people are putting a spotlight on fathers, because like 6 years ago or 7 years ago now, like when I started my blog about just my experiences as a father, like I was just doing something so everybody could see my daughter growing up. But like as I told more of my story, and then like I started writing professionally in places, like people would ask me things, and so like I've kind of stumbled into this place where like a lot of what I do is to promote fathers of color being creative or whatever. So like that's kind of the motivation behind a lot of the things that I do. So like I'm glad to see that, you know, a while ago when it was just me by myself, there's a lot more now.
Right.
Okay. Dave, you got any lasting words?
Yeah, if you're a father, be a father. Stop being a fucking deadbeat.
There you go.
Get your fucking life together.
That's right. That's just simple. Like, yeah, be a father, bro. Like, it is.
You know, there's a lot of kids out here that just need a dad. If it ain't your kid, they need a dad. You know, do your best, try.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you with a girl, she got a kid, don't ignore the little motherfucker. You know? He needs a father too, or a mother, vice versa. And that's about it.
All right, so yeah, this has been the Real Q&A. Janine was your host. I'm just chilling today. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I did this because my father always told me we got to open a dialogue and stuff like that. And all of y'all are great fathers. Each one of y'all in here is a great father, and I appreciate the work that y'all are doing. I watch y'all and I see you. I hit your brother the other day. I was like, Messiah's quiet. Messiah ain't quiet. He's got over here dropping knowledge. I knew you'd be perfect for the show. My uncle, I see what you do every day. You working hard. You put your personal struggles aside and you do what you got to do. Chad, I see the podcast, or you know, the thing you do with your daughter. That is one of the most amazing things that I see. So let him shout himself out so he can get. He needs to get. Y'all need to follow Chad. So I love what he does with his daughter. So y'all need to follow it first. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So on Instagram or any social media, I'm Chad Milner. I am ChadMilner. My site that I write for is called SingleDadVengers.com. And then I have a podcast with my daughter and my nephew, and it's called Sydney with a C, like Sydney being Sydney Podcast 2013. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We do video on YouTube, and we're on SoundCloud also.
Yep, it's lit. It's very interesting. It kept me interested. And Dave, you already know how I tell you. You got Angie. I see it, bro. I can just see how you know. I know y'all over here like this guy got to be some type of like I don't know possible, but no, for real, he's a good dude. He's not gonna just see them emotions. I know he has his background. You know what I'm saying? And my dude, for the coming from his background to become the father he is, you already know what it is, bro. You know where we come from. So that's what I'm saying. So like at the end of the day, like I said, we need parents, but you know, fathers sometimes they need that same love the mothers get. So let's give them that love, all right? This has been a Real Q&A, Real Questions and Answers. Thank you. I'm your host, Ant, and
Janine Monique.
Follow her, Janine Monique.
Instagram.
All right. Y'all have a great night. All right.
All right.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you for watching the Real Q&A. Perfect.